Hello and welcome back to Man v Film. Today we're going to be talking about A Chinese Torture Chamber Part 1 from this two-movie set from Vinegar Syndrome, and I had no idea what I was getting into with this one. I knew it was a Cat 3 film and can be sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. Of course, being called A Chinese Torture Chamber, I was expecting lots of gore and blood and people being brutalised, and sometimes that can become really boring or uninteresting, like Mark of the Devil, where it's just people being tortured all the way through it. It doesn't hold any attention. So I was a little bit worried going into this one exactly what I was going to get. What I was not expecting was how riotously funny this was and how inconsistent and off-putting the tone of the entire movie would be.
我哋少爺就好中意女人小足嘅，你個女分分鐘可以成為我哋楊家二少奶都唔出奇。
This can go from something being horrific and horrible to a sex comedy with the speed of just one single cut. And it's incredibly fun and entertaining. The basic story here is about Little Cabbage, a young woman who goes to work. She's kind of sold off from her parents to cover a debt, to go and work for her a new master, whom you feel she could become a concubine at some point. Of course, the master's wife really doesn't appreciate the fact that he's kind of showering her with interest and affection, and as she's cheating, she gets caught in the act by Little Cabbage and then gets sold off to someone else when the master's not there. A little bit convoluted story, but the main story going on here is that the man that she was sold off to marry has died. She and the master are being blamed for the murder of this one, and they are going through a trial where they're being brutalised and tortured to own up and confess to this crime, which they did not do. So it's told in an almost kind of flashback narrative, which is really great. But like I said, everything that was fun about this was the humour involved. It is over the top and ridiculous and silly and just so out there and very playful that I couldn't help but just absolutely adore this one. It was ridiculous in all the right ways. There is a moment where one of the characters who has a huge appendage is frustrated and looking for release. His new wife is going to help him with that as she stands behind him doing what's necessary. The music of Unchained Melody plays, and it is framed very much like the pottery scene in Ghost, and I was killing myself laughing at this, and that's just one of many moments in this that just cheered me up, put a smile to my face, made me laugh out loud. It's very crude in its sexual humour, it's very brutal with its torturous sequences, and these two things marry together surprisingly well. They shouldn't, but they do. I think it was an absolute marvel. A Chinese Torture Story was so out there. It actually had a really good narrative at the heart of it. You know, this kind of flashback story of the murder, how it happened, who's really to blame, how are they going to get out of this situation with these brutal torture that's going on, with these incredibly hilarious sex scenes. Another one that stands out to me just in my memory was two heroes that spend their time in the woods just having sex, but it's the most incredibly unrealistic and just silly sex sequences as they're almost fighting doing this, but they're jumping like from treetop to treetop, having this sex sequence while people watch. Genius. It's absolutely genius. This was so entertaining. this is definitely one of the shocks that I've got so far. I was expecting not a lot from this, and I'm now eager to go and watch the second part because this was such an absolute joy. Just for the first movie alone, pick it up. Pick it up. You won't believe what you're seeing. It is pure entertainment. What more do you want? I would love to know your thoughts on a Chinese torture chamber story. So let me know in the comment box below whether you loved it, hated it, fell somewhere in the middle, and why. Let's get some more comments on this one rolling in. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com. Always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.